And there you have your curve. Next we go to the hip. This is the measurement of the hip. So so quarter of this is going to be like 22.75 or thereabout. So you add maybe some ease of 2 cm or thereabout. So let's call it 24. And you call this HP. And in the same way, you are going to join your HP to UP. This is the front UP. You are going to join it to the front HP with a straight line. And then at this point where the line crosses, you take 1.5. The back was 2 cm, but the front will be 1.5, and call that WP. And in the same way, you use your French curve to join this. Below the bust line, below it you are going to measure 4 cm below the bust line and draw a straight line. You label it true bust line. Remember, this was the bust line, but this one is the true bust line. To get the final shoulder, this line is called outer line. This line here, this one is inner line, this is outer line. So you are going to fold the inner line on top of the outer line. Watch as I do it. This is the inner line, so I'm gonna pinch it, okay, up to this 2 cm below, not to the end, up to somewhere here, and then I take it and place on top of the outer line. I expect to have a curve here. There should be a curve at this place, because that is the breast cup. This is the part of the nipple where it's curvy. So don't try to make it straight. Make sure it has a curve in there. Alright, so I place it on top the outer line. So you see what I did? I took the inner line and placed on top of the outer line. The inner line on top of the outer line. Did you see that? So I'm having a curve somewhere there. And then I take my tracing wheel. My tracing wheel from NP to SP. As this dot is folded, I draw a straight line from there. Can use pen to mark it down. When I open it, this is what I get. When I open it, this is what I get. Okay, so again, I take my inner line and place on top of the outer line, and then I draw a straight line from my NP to SP. And when I open it, I have this. I hope you understand that, because it's very important. And And to know if your pattern is correct when you are done, to know if it is correct, you're going to see a little space here. If you don't have this space here, it means there's something wrong. You need to recheck your pattern. If you don't see this space here, the bigger the size, the bigger that space. So if you didn't see the space, then there's something wrong, so you need to check it again. Okay, let's go to the waistline. The waistline, below the waistline, below the waistline, you're going to mark for different figures. It depends. If the person is big, you can make it 2 cm or 1 cm. For this size, this is a small size, so I will just do 1 cm below the waistline, and then I go to the sides where I have the WP. Below it, I mark half a cm. The back side of it too, I mark half a cm. And then for the center back, I do not mark anything. For the center back, I do not mark anything. For what I do is, I join this place right to where my center back waist started. You see that? I joined here to here. I didn't do this. I did this. Okay, so I now go to the front where I marked 0.5 cm. I join it to where I have 1 cm. So that's your slanted waistline. That's your slanted waistline. Okay, now we are going to shape the waist. This is our waist measurement. What was that? 67. Okay, so half of it is 33.5. We are going to add maybe like 2 cm each. Let's call it 35.5. Now what are we going to do? 35.5. We are going to take our measurement from center back, from here. We are going to measure it all the way to WP. We stop, and then we continue. We skip the whole of this. From here we skip to the next WP and continue measuring until we have the measurement, which is half waist plus 2 cm, and then we mark that place out. So I'm going to do it to show you. Our own measurement is 35.5. So I start from center back. I take my measurement and I reach here. This is where my tape stops at the WP at the back. So I continue to WP at the front. And I continue my measurement until I have 35.5. When I get to 35.5, I stop and I mark that place capital R. The next thing I do is everything from capital R to center front is going to be removed. That is about 10 cm. So I have 10 cm. And what do? I share 10 cm equally. So the front has 5 cm and the back has 5 cm. This is what is going to be removed from my pattern to make the waist shaped. For waist reduction, I have 5 cm to take away from the front. So I will start by doing this. I'll remove 1 cm for the slanted shape, and then I go to the side. I remove 1 cm and I'm out of this is 1 cm, this is 1 cm, I'm left with 3. I'm going to remove that 3 from the waist dart. We do that later. So let's go to the back. For the back, I remove 2 cm for the slanted CB, and I remove 1 cm here. So that is 3 gone. I'm left with 2 for the back. I'm left with 2 for the back, and I'm left with 3 for the front. So we are going to put that on the waist dart. For this measurement we took 8.25. That was the half of the chest. 8.25. That was quarter chest. This measurement we took here was 8.25. So the same measurement is what we are going to take here, and then draw a straight line. So 8.25, 8.25, and then we draw a straight line. It's just a continuation of this guideline. And in between these 2 lines, our remainder 3 is what we are going to remove. We are going to take away this 3, so we just make it in between here and here. Don't mind that my R is a coincidence that R still fell into this place. It is not always the same. For some other person, it might shift from there. Okay, so I have my 3 cm there. Alright, so I'm going to join the legs of the dart, and to the upper side of my line, I'm going to have maybe a 13 or 12 cm depending. So I used 13 cm above here and 15 cm below, and I joined the dart legs. Okay, so that is my dart for the front. The whole of this is 3 cm. So we go to the back. To get the position where we are going to mark the dart, we just divide this back line. You divide it into 2. Between here and here, you divide it into 2 and mark it so that we have our line. Half of 17.5 will be 8.75. 8.75. So we just take half of it, 8.75 there. We need a straight line. That is why I'm doing that. 8.75. And then we draw a straight line across. Okay, so the same way I take about 12 or 13 cm up here, and then below I take another 15 cm, and then in between we were left with 2, so I'm going to shade the 2 equally, 1 cm here and 1 cm here, and then I join that. Okay, so that's for the back dart. You draw a line from the slanted shear from here. From here through the chest line. The same thing will happen at the back. The same thing at the back, from slanted CB here, from this 2 cm through the back line. We draw a line. And this line, of course, it continues from just keep continuing, maybe with a dotted line. Okay, so that means if you are using this, you will probably be using this. But if you are using the straight line, you are going to be using this one. When you are using straight line, please do not use this, the dotted line, but when you are using slanted, you can use this. Okay. Okay, I think we are almost done. Last but not the least, the shoulder dart. So this is about 14 between SP and NP. So let's take halfway, about 7. Okay, and then you are going to make a dart. This dart has to be perpendicular, please. Do not draw the dart like that. Draw it this way, because you are following the slanted line. And it should be about 10 cm or thereabout. About 10 cm, and then in between have the just to give you like 1 cm in all, and then you join this to this and this to this, and then you have your shoulder dart. Shoulder dart doesn't have to be very wide, so that it won't so as your shoulder dart. Ta-da! We are done. Okay, so review what you've done and see if you can do it on your own without asking questions. Just keep trying again and again. You can try with small sizes, and then you proceed to bigger sizes. See you. Bye. God bless you.